Hello and welcome to another spellbinding edition of CU Sports Mag. I'm Steve Nelson, and if I seem a little giddy on the desk today, I have good reason. Pumpkin spice lattes are back in stores, the CU football team is back in the rankings, and Alex Doyle is back on the desk with me where he belongs.
What a time to be alive, Steve. Also, what a time to be a Buffs fan. CU Sports had a fantastic week, and we've got the lowdown right here. Let's start things off with an update on the red-hot football team. Last Saturday, the Oregon State Beavers came to town and crept back to their dams in Corvallis with their tails between their legs. This game was a smackdown. Though the Buffs started the game strong, the Beavers were the first team this season to not allow us to score on the opening drive. On top of that, Oregon State was the first team to score, nabbing 3 points on a 32-yard field goal midway through the first quarter. The lead did not last long, though, as the Buffs came back and scored a touchdown.
From there, the Buffs took off. They scored 20 unanswered points in the first half and kept on rolling. To put things in perspective, Oregon State had 226 yards of total offense. The Buffs had 247 rushing yards. Steven Montez threw for 293 yards and 3 touchdowns without getting sacked once. Before the end of the third quarter, Colorado had 40 points on the board and backup quarterback Jordan Gerke in the game. The final score was 47-6, a truly dominant performance. The last time the Colorado football team received votes to be ranked in the top 25 was 2008. The last time they won more than 2 conference games was 2007. In the first 5 games of the 2016 season, the Buffs received votes to be in the top 25 and have won 2 conference games. Following the Oregon State game, the Buffs made their way into the AP poll, coming in at 21. While the team is excited about the ranking, they are remaining focused on the task at hand this weekend and their game against USC.
Earlier this week, we caught up with Coach Mack following the football team's big win against the Beavers at the weekly press conference. He talked about the rankings his team received this week and what it means for the team, as well as his thoughts on the quarterback situation. 2 great quarterbacks. Who to start? Take a look at what Mack had to say.
We talked about it for maybe 5 seconds, basically was, I said, they've earned the right to be acknowledged for what they've done, but it means nothing Saturday. You have to keep proving it. You have to keep doing it week after week after week. And it's what got us here, our work ethic and believing in Colorado football. And so they have to keep doing that exact same thing. But I think it's nice for those young men as hard as they work to be acknowledged for something. But it's just a blip right now.
To clarify on Cepho, if he's 100% healthy, he's your guy?
If we'll see. It all depends on his health. And if he's ready to go, we'll be ready to play.
Coach Cepho did say today that he felt that his ankle was 100%. From what you've seen so far this week, would you agree with that? No. He's the toughest sucker in the building, and he's going to say that no matter what. He said that 2 weeks ago. The trainers evaluate it, we'll evaluate it, he'll evaluate it, and we'll make sure. I don't want to put him out there if he's not fully ready to go.
During the Buffs' victory over Oregon State last week, true freshman kicker Davis Price was forced into action after Diego Gonzalez was injured against Michigan. He proved to be more than capable, going 5 for 5 on extra points and 2 for 2 in field goals. His first field goal was 54 yards, which is currently the 3rd longest field goal of the NCAA season. It set 2 CU records, longest freshman kick and longest first ever kick. For his efforts, he was named Pac-12 Special Teams Player of the Week.
The Buffs' starting quarterback situation is being disputed for the 3rd straight week. Both senior quarterbacks, Sefo Liufau and redshirt freshman Steven Montez, have been stellar in their time under center this season. Liufau injured his ankle in the Week 3 loss to Michigan. Montez took his place after the injury and has started both games since, leading the Buffs to 2 victories. When asked about his ankle, Liufau said that his ankle feels 100%, but he is taking it day by day. Earlier this week, Coach Mack said that the QB decision will be a game-time decision, but Liufau's health will be a major factor. Even with all their recent success, the football team is turning their sights towards Saturday's tough matchup against USC. Here are the 3 keys to that game. First key, contain Juju Smith-Schuster. The Trojan wide receiver had 3 touchdown catches last weekend at ASU and is quickly becoming a quarterback favorite. Keeping a close eye on him is absolutely essential.
The second key, the defense needs to put pressure on quarterback Sam Darnold. The redshirt freshman has started only 2 games, but he's already putting up some huge numbers. Last weekend, he went 22 for 33 for 352 yards. The defense needs to crank up the pass rush, get in his head, and shut him down. The last key, our O-line needs to keep it up. The Colorado O-line has been on it this season. Last year, the line allowed an average of 3.15 sacks per game. This season, they're averaging only 2 per game. It's a definite improvement and will create crucial extra seconds for whichever quarterback starts tomorrow. Here at SportsMag, we know a decent amount of facts about the CU sports teams. At least, I'd like to think we do. But we wanted to see how much the student body knows about one team in particular. Bobby Galen headed out to campus to quiz people on the football team in this week's edition of Man on the Street.
My name is Bobby Galen, and today here I'm at Norland Quad, and we're going to talk to students about their reaction to last week's football game and CU being ranked 21st nationally. Let's see what they have to say. Did you go to the football game on Saturday?
I did not.
Yes, I did.
I slept until 2 o'clock.
Fortunately, I didn't.
What was the atmosphere like in the student section?
It was just crazy because there's so many people there. Like, all the families were just going crazy.
Everyone was really stoked. It's good that we're finally got a good team this year.
Fabulous. It was very vibrant. There was lots of people there, and the Buffs were winning.
That was good. It was live. Everyone was super happy and pumped.
Is CU nationally ranked?
Yes, right? Yeah, like the 21st.
What is it? I think it's 15th or 25th.
25.
24.
21.
As of yesterday, I saw it's 21.
Do you think that they should start freshman quarterback Steven Montez or senior quarterback Sefo Liufau?
I say give the freshman a chance.
Maybe the senior quarterback?
I think we give Montez a shot. He's proven himself.
Freshman Steven Montez or senior Sefo Liufau?
Senior.
What do you think the Buffs' record's going to be for the rest of the season?
I think they'll be above 500.
I'd say a 10-2.
I think they're going to go pretty strong.
Should be pretty awesome. Should be good, yeah.
Do you know the USC mascot?
No.
No, I don't.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the Trojan.
Isn't it Trojan?
The Trojan.
USC's, I have no clue.
What are the chances of CU making a bowl game at the end of the year?
Ooh. Hopefully high.
I say pretty good. I say we go 80% chance we make a bowl game.
I think that if they can win at least, 5 more games?
Sure, hell yeah. Yeah.
You know what? Maybe. Hey, let's stay positive.
Man, we're really riding a momentum wave right now, so I think we'll do pretty well. Hopefully make it to a bowl this year.
Well, it looks like students seem pretty happy about the Buff season this year. My name is Bobby Galen for CU SportsMag, and this has been Man on the Street. Back to you guys at the desk.
This is a special time here at CU for our football team. After the Buffs played Oregon State last Saturday, the nation thought it was time to reward our school and our team for their excellent play. Our football team was ranked 21st in the AP NCAA football rankings. So, our trivia question this week is, when was the last time the Buffs football team was nationally ranked? We will get that answer to you later in the show, and no cheating. Coming up after a short break, we'll reveal our 2 picks for Athletes of the Week.
And Cyrus Allen is in studio to talk about how well some of our student athletes are doing this season. Don't go anywhere.
Our all-around campus, the Norland Quad, the Rec Center, the UMC, over by Farron Field, even in some res halls.
It's not just these words being repeated everywhere, it's really a description of the community and the people that you're going to be encountering in the next 4 years.
The creed is a value for the CU community. As a member of the Boulder community and the University of Colorado Boulder, I agree to
act with honor, integrity, and accountability in my interactions with students, faculty, staff, and neighbors.
To respect the rights of others and accept our differences. Contribute to the greater good of this community.
I will strive to uphold these principles in all aspects of my collegiate experience and beyond.
Morning, Gary. We are GetSchooled.com. You want a college education, don't you? You know you do. Yeah, but I don't know where to start. That's why we're here. We're free, handsome. I think we're breathtaking. And here to guide you through every step of the way, starting with attendance. Gary, financial aid forms. Biology homework, G. I got this. Is that Bran? Colleges love extracurricular activities.
Chess really isn't my thing.
I got this. Doesn't matter. Go ahead. Picking a college, man. You and us. We go together like tacos and Tuesday.
And I love tacos.
Fire and ice.
Those don't really go together. Go to getschool.com for more info.
The Spikers of CU Volleyball have inched their way to 19th place in the most recent AVCA Division I coaches poll. They had 1 loss and 1 win this weekend and is still working their way up towards Stanford, who is sitting at 7th in the poll, making them the top team in the Pac-12. Stanford will put the Buffs to the test this weekend. Overall, CU is 10-4 this season. This weekend, they will hit the road after 3 weeks of hitting on their home court and head towards the coast of California.
The 20th ranked CU women's volleyball team defeated 12th ranked UCLA last Saturday. This was the Buffs' 10th win on the season and are now 2-2 in the Pac-12. Colorado took the series 3-1, led by Alexis Smith, Stephanie Shadley, and Gabby Simpson. Smith racked up 16 points while Shadley and Simpson had 12 kills each. On the defensive side, Sierra Simpson tallied a season high of 27 digs. The Buffs play their next game at Stanford tonight at 7.
The now ranked number 19 Colorado Buffaloes volleyball team is headed to Northern California to take on California and number 7 Stanford. These matches will be hosted on Friday, October 7th, and Sunday the 9th. The Stanford Cardinal team is the highest Pac-12 team, highest ranked, and has recorded 9-3 overall record and is 3-1 in the league standings, which is currently 3rd overall. So the Buffs are sure to have a tough match ahead of them. The matches will be broadcast live on Pac-12 Mountain and Pac-12 Bay Area, so be sure to tune in and support your fellow Buffs.
If you've been paying attention to our athletics at all this fall, you'd know that we have multiple teams that are really turning it on and winning games for us. Cyrus Allen is here to discuss 3 of the athletes on these teams and the impacts they are having on their teams in this week's Buff Banter.
Hello, I'm Cyrus Allen, and this is Buff Banter. On this week's edition of Buff Banter, I will be talking about the recent success of many of the sports here at CU. But Cyrus, everybody knows that the CU sports teams are killing it this year. We already know that the football team is ranked 21st and that the volleyball team is ranked 19th after that huge win against UCLA last week. Cross country has been perennial contenders since, well, forever, and the soccer team has won 8 straight games. We know all this, but behind all of these teams doing incredibly well are individual players putting in even better performances. And I know, obviously, when teams are doing well, then, of course, the players by default will also have to be playing well. But what I'm talking about are historic performances from players. We have student athletes not just breaking records, but doing things that have literally never been done before at CU. To start, in the Oregon State game, Shea Fields caught 3 touchdowns in the first half alone, which no football player has ever done, and was only the 4th Buff to ever catch 3 in a full game. All that while a redshirt freshman was throwing him the ball. Next up, the soccer team is on an 8-game win streak, and Taylor Korniak has 4 goals in 4 games, leading the team to a 4-0 record in the Pac-12. They look to continue their streak and maybe even jump into the top 25 rankings this upcoming week. But it does not stop there. The volleyball team is ranked 19th right now, but Gabby Simpson may be the best player in the entire Pac-12. After 4 league games in the Pac-12, she has 4 straight triple-doubles. For those of you that are not well versed in volleyball, that means she has had at least 10 kills, 10 assists, and 10 digs in 4 straight games. Now, that alone would be impressive, but she has gone far and above that, averaging 14 kills, an incredible 26 assists, and 11 digs in those games. In CU history, no one has had more than 2 consecutive triple-doubles, and now Gabby Simpson has 4 on her way to playing Stanford this weekend. Hopefully the CU teams can continue to win their games and dominate their opponents, but be on the lookout for more incredible performances by the individual athletes on the teams. Well, that's going to be all for this edition of Buff Banter. I'm Cyrus Allen. Back to you guys at the desks. Go Buffs.
Thanks, Cyrus. No drum roll necessary because these athletes have already gotten plenty of applause for their spectacular performances this week. This week's Athletes of the Week are Shea Fields and Aaron Clark. Clark won the women's 5.8K race at the Buffalo Ranch with the fastest time in the meet at 19 minutes and 54 seconds. Fields had 19 catches for 460 yards and has been called the biggest deep ball threat for the Buffs. He also holds a 70-yard touchdown reception, the longest play for CU so far this year. Great work to these and many more of our other phenomenal Buff athletes. Keep up the sweat.
The CU cross-country team held the annual Rocky Mountain Shootout last Saturday. The Buffs had standout performances from senior Aaron Clark and redshirt freshman Joe Klecker. Clark finished her 5.8K in under 20 minutes, and Klecker came in second, completing his 8K in under 25 minutes. Head coach Mark Wetmore said he is very proud of all of his athletes, and they finished exactly how he expected. The cross-country team's next event will be the NCAA Pre-Nationals held in Terre Haute, Indiana on October 15th.
The Buffs track and field team are holding national rankings at number 6 in the country for the men and number 2 in the country for the women. The women maintain number 2 after a number of strong individual performances at the Rocky Mountain Shootout. The men's team narrowly missed, maintaining 5th place by 1 point in the USTF CCCA poll released this week. Both teams look forward to competing in the Pre-National Invitational on October 15th in Terre Haute, Indiana. We have to take another quick break, but when we come back, soccer star Taylor Korniak is making national headlines.
And one of our reporters had the opportunity to head to the basketball practice and catch up with one of the players. Stick around to find out who after the break.
I'm a teacher. Let me tell you what I make. I make learning a privilege, not a chore. And frustration, a tool, not an obstacle. I make working hard seem easy, and giving up impossible.
And then we're gonna turn the lights and everybody look up.
I make an old subject feel like a fresh thought.
Finally won. What's your reaction? Yeah! Yeah, exactly.
And unconventional methods
Okay, what else?
common.
Little tadpoles, the frogs, everybody said, this is their world.
There's nothing.
And then they die. Go ahead, go, go, go.
I'm a teacher. I make more.
The Buffs soccer team started the season with 2 wins and 3 losses. Since then, under the leadership of freshman Taylor Korniak, who has scored 9 goals this season. Last week in Tempe, Korniak scored the lone goal for the Buffs in their 7th straight win. Korniak's goal came off of a free kick in the 45th minute, giving the Buffs the lead heading into halftime. The Buffs were able to keep the pressure on the Sun Devils to win their 4th straight 1-0 game. After the ASU game, Korniak was tied with Utah's Haley Skomolski for the Pac-12 lead in goals. The Buffs returned home this week for a 3-game homestand. They beat Oregon yesterday afternoon 3-1. Korniak scored her 9th goal of the season.
The goal isn't the only thing that Korniak has achieved, as she was named National Player of the Week for her performances last week against Arizona and Arizona State. Both games were 1-0 victories for Colorado, with both goals coming from Korniak. She now has 8 goals on the year, 5 of them game winners, which ranks 3rd in the nation.
Hallie Jones caught up with senior forward Wesley Gordon earlier this week and asked him a few questions about how the basketball team has been warming up in the offseason and what he hopes to improve on this year. Take it away, Hallie.
Hey Buff fans, I'm Hallie Jones here at Coors Event Center with senior forward Wesley Gordon for your segment of 60 Seconds with the Buff. So Wes, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm good. So it's been about 6 months or so since you guys have set foot on a court as a team as a whole. What have you guys done this off season to prepare for this upcoming season?
We lifted a lot, got our weight up, ran, got our conditioning up, and we just really worked on our game individually so we can improve as a team.
So last season you were extremely impressive with the blocking statistic. What is one thing you want to improve on this year individually?
Making better decisions with the ball. When I get the ball, making a decision to attack or hit the open man, being faster and more efficient.
And lastly, this is your last year here in Boulder. What is one thing you're going to miss when you leave?
The mountains probably. I like the view and the backdrop is real beautiful.
It's real beautiful. Well, Buff fans, that's all the time I have today. I'm Hallie Jones. Back to you guys at the desk.
Colorado Buffaloes women's basketball player Haley Smith is a senior this year. New head coach J.R. Payne will be leaning on her to deliver even more now that Jamie Swan is gone. Throughout her career, Smith has been one of the more consistent players for the Buffs. But Payne and associate head coach Toriano Towns are expecting her to step up her game even more to help the Buffs get back right on track after a disappointing 7-23 finish. Smith believes she is ready for the challenge, saying that, quote, "I just think that after our season last year, we all feel we have something to prove and something to show." The Buffs will officially open practice on Monday, with the season opener set for November 11th at Northern Colorado and the season home opener 2 days later against Air Force. We have to take one last break, and when we come back, we'll have the answer to that trivia question.
And somebody, check the thermostat. I think Mitch Sanchez is cranking up the heat in here.
Turning up that thermostat because it's rapid fire with me, Mitchell Sanchez, after the break.
This house was almost saved from a fire that was almost put out by neighbors who almost volunteered. As generous a nation as we are, sometimes instead of giving, we almost give. But almost giving is the same as not giving at all.
Oh, those boys are much too much. Those boys are much too much. We got the spirit. We're hot. We can't be stopped. We got the spirit. We're hot. We can't be stopped. We're going to beat them and bust them. Beat them.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
Let's get a little bit rowdy. R-O-W-D-Y.
Take time to be a
One
dad
more time.
today.
Oh, those boys are much too much. Those boys.
Last Friday, the Pac-12 announced its Golfers of the Month for September. Both the male and female awards went to CU golfers, senior Esther Lee and freshman Morton Toft Hansen. Lee is currently the #1 ranked golfer in the country after setting an NCAA record for most strokes under par in a single round at the branch law firm New Mexico Invitational. Hansen, in his first month with the team, had an impressive 4 top 10 finishes. Congratulations to both golfers.
Wow. Well, like I said earlier, it's getting hot in the studio, and that means my favorite segment of the show is here. If it weren't for Rapid Fire, I'm not sure I would know what to do during the weekends. Get ready for Mitch Sanchez to give you all the lowdown on what's going on this weekend.
What's up, Buff fans? Welcome to Rapid Fire. I'm Mitchell Sanchez, and this weekend, our Buffs are turning the West Coast into the Est Coast because we're taking the W in California and Oregon. It all starts tonight with our women's volleyball team at Stanford. The game starts at 7 p.m. and you can watch it on the Pac-12 network. Saturday is all football. Our Buffs are in LA taking on USC starting at 2 p.m. USC is a tough opponent, so I think it'll be one of the better games this season. On Sunday, women's soccer is in Oregon against Oregon State. The game is at 1 p.m. and will be streaming online. If their soccer team is as good as their football team, it'll be an easy match. Finally, women's volleyball heads north after Stanford to the University of California for a match at 4 p.m. The Bears are currently 0-4 in the Pac-12, so I think we'll have a good chance. 4 W's in 3 days. Not a bad future for the Buffs. Thanks for sticking with me through the weekend schedule. This has been Rapid Fire with Mitchell Sanchez. Back to you guys at the desk.
Colorado Buffaloes tennis player Nuria Ormeño Ruiz has been competing in the Riviera ITA All-American Championships, but was knocked out of the main draw on Thursday in Pacific Palisades, California. She fell to Sarah Davatila from North Carolina in round of 32, 6-4 in the first set and 6-0 in the second. Although she will not advance past the round of 32, she will still be playing again Friday, October 7th, to play in the back draw at 1:30 Mountain Time. And if she wins that match, she will be playing yet again at 5:15 Mountain Time.
Earlier in the show, we asked a question that is very important to our school and many of the fans that have had to crawl through the past 5 or 6 years of CU football. We have been incredibly bad in the past, including years that we have not even won a Pac-12 game. But those days look like they are in the past for the team. Earlier in the show, we asked, when was the last time the CU football team was ranked in the top 25 AP rankings? And the answer is, drumroll please, 2005. To put that into perspective, the last time the Buffs were ranked, no one in the world had an iPhone. Earlier in the year, Hurricane Katrina destroyed Louisiana. Needless to say, it is a long time coming for the Buffs, and the fans can't wait to see how the season goes.
Jace Kinney gets the shout out in this week's Tweet of the Week. In his tweet, he's backing up defensive coordinator Jim Leavitt when the defensive coordinator tweets about the D staying focused when preparing for Southern Cal. Kinney exclaims that it's time to show USC what the Rise is all about. Punch Kinney's ticket for the hype train because he's on board with everyone else who's backing up the Buffs' rise this fall.
Now, Alex, we have a big football game coming up this weekend. Do you have any weird superstitions or strange pregame rituals that you do on game day?
Yeah, I do actually. Now, bear with me here. This is a bit strange.
No judgment, no judgment.
Well, Steve, I wake up and I go to work. I'm preoccupied during the game and generally don't get to check the score till my shift is over.
Really? Dude, not gonna lie, that really sounds like a total drag.
Hey man, gotta pay the bills, right?
Respect, man. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Well, anyway, like we said earlier, I'm with Jace on this one. I punched my ticket for the hype train a while ago.
So did I, man. Also, good luck to all the other CU sports teams playing this weekend. Go Buffs.
You said it. Well, unfortunately, that's all the time we have for this week's episode. I'm Steve Nelson. That's Alex Doyle. This is CU Sports Mag, and we'll see you next week.